Welcome to this overview and review of Northgard. Maybe the first review of many, covering mainly lesser known games that I love, old and new. This will probably focus on indie or open source titles, but also games from larger developers that haven't gotten much attention. Maybe even a mobile game or two, since they're always seems the same and they're really not. But without further blather, let us start. Northgard at first glance is a heavily styled real-time strategy game, but there's definitely more to it. Let's cover this game over in detail, showing each element of what makes Northgard and not just another Age of Empires clone. So, to give a brief summary of how the game works, the first thing that you can see when you load into a game is your town hall and 4 villagers. These villagers can construct, repair, forage for food, and take up professions. By taking up professions, they can do all sorts of things, becoming scouts to reveal zones, sailors to raid for money alongside fame or lore, into soldiers as part of your warband, and miners for many different resources. But your ability to create professionals is determined by 2 things: building slots, and whether the building requires something in particular, both of which are controlled by the zone. A zone is a hex on the map, typically defended by neutral enemies, which send periodic attacks your way, which can be colonized for food and can have special properties, like Thor's Wrath for a faction-wide attack buff, fish for fishermen's huts, or a drake that functions as a boss. The aim is to complete any available victory. Some have conditions unlike any other scenario or game. Bit of spoilers for this next section, because this will be mostly covering Rig's saga and the reason for being on Northgard. The story opens up with the clan of the Stag holding a meeting with the other clans. They have fully mapped Northgard and intend to set sail for the continent. However, it was not meant to be, as the clan of the Raven comes charging in to murder everyone in cold blood, and Rig only surviving by feigning death. Rig sets off on his own to build a fleet to reach Northgard, as the last leader of the Stag clan alive, but missing his ancestral horn to fully claim the title, which was taken in the attack, swearing revenge. Hagen, the current leader of the clan of the Raven, does what he can to stand against the now united clans of the Stag, Goat and Wolf. Hagen is defeated, but Leve decides to kill Hagen herself and take over the Raven clan and pledge allegiance to Rig. She then goes on to explain that he was not the real threat, merely a pawn of the much bigger clan of the Boar, who are native to Northgard. A rebellion inside the clan of the Boar draws the 4 clans forth, aiding the rebellion so that they are joined as 5. A contest won against the clan of the Bear brings them into the fold also. The 6 progress through the Fimbulvinter to reach Bifrost, and stop the now revealed Hvedrun from destroying Bifrost and bringing Ragnarök, or as he calls it, the Age of Men. The final battle is a bit of a mad dash to seal each and every of the gates of Muspel and repair Bifrost, whilst all of the settlements you have made along the way send you men and supplies to drive you forth. And so, Rig's saga is concluded, but Ragnarök may very well have begun, and the 6 clans decide to call this land home, to protect and heal it. And now I want to dive a bit deeper into the whole gameplay aspect of it, how it functions, what it does, all that good stuff. You have two main resources that you need, food and wood, both of which must be stockpiled before winter each year. Food keeps your men fed and is used for colonizing zones and trade. Running out applies the starving effect, slowly reducing health. Wood keeps your men warm and is used for every single building except a few like the carved stone and the relic which you can forge. Running out applies the freezing effect, slowly reducing health and slowing down your workers. Both of these will apply the sick effect if unattended, reducing health even more, possibly killing your people. Food can be increased via buildings like fields, fishermen's huts, and hunters' lodges, wood by woodcutters' lodges. What about the other resources? Crowns are pure currency, gained by buildings like the Longship Dock via raiding, and the trading post by selling resources. Do know that unlike AoE games, you cannot bulk sell. You can only provide continuous supply of a resource. You can, however, buy from the marketplace resources in bulk, as long as you have the crowns. Crowns are also used for recruiting warband, developing zones which gives them an extra building slot, and upgrades for both buildings and units. Stone is used as a primary material for upgrading buildings, harvested by miners from a mine. Once you upgrade your town centre, you can upgrade other buildings. Most workplaces add 20% production and allow you to have 3 instead of the base 2 workers. Some just add a production bonus, and houses add more population and tackle happiness. Which brings me to the topic of happiness. For every zone you control, every brewer you have, and what great trade routes you have active, you gain happiness. For every person you have, happiness goes down. Run out of happiness and you can no longer add to your population. Go into the negative and you end up with a minus 20% production debuff on all buildings. Iron is another mined resource, being the primary resource for recruiting your war chief, or re-recruiting them if they get killed, and upgrading your people. Upgrading can be done at the forge, where smiths make crowns and iron into buffs and relics. The buffs differ for each one, each being useful in its own way, and very similar for the relics, but you can only forge one of them. You cannot use someone else's relic either, but you can capture or decolonize the zone to deny them access to its abilities. Commercial influence is something that is gained by having a longship dock with a lighthouse, selecting a great trade route in return for paying a continuous sum of crowns. Every 500 influence you get a delivery of resources, and 2000 if the victory type is enabled, you win. Lore is a resource gained by having lore masters, working natural or constructed sites. Lore can then be used to purchase knowledge that gives you useful buffs, and blessings when you get enough knowledge that give you a good helping hand. Collecting all 3 blessings, plus 1, gives you a lore victory. Fame is a resource gathered by having territory, decolonizing clan territory, killing certain neutral enemies, gaining knowledge, exploration, and from sailors. Gaining fame allows you to unlock clan abilities at 200 and 500, and gaining 1200 an Altar of Kings, and holding 12 zones on a normal map size gives you a glory victory. And the final regular victory comes from destroying the town halls of everyone else. It does not matter how you achieve that. Stuff takes time to do. This is not a very quick game, but it works well for me at this pace, and games can definitely go faster than expected. Events also crop up yearly, some with a potential for a bonus, some that are particularly bad. Dealing with events effectively can put you heavily ahead of everyone else, so be prepared. Oh, and the clans. The clans make the game. They're all incredibly unique, plus working with them or against them feels entirely different. They all have a mechanic or 3 that really changes how you play the game. Clan of the Raven earns tons of money from sailors, so can pursue great trade routes with ease, launch mercenaries to your foes for example. I could go on for ages about each of them, but I could do another video on the clan specifically if it was wanted. The art in this game is great. It has its own slightly slightly toony style to the models, and they all look great. You can even get different skins for the buildings and war chiefs, earning currency to buy them via weekly missions and completing achievements. The different modes offered are also quite different. Campaign is made to feel a lot more immersive. A standard game is just your regular randomly generated map. Conquests are these long struggles in which you accumulate bonuses with unique objectives, creative for map and scenario building, and there's multiplayer too, which I feel like I would lose instantly in and I've not touched. This is most certainly an easy-ish game to learn, hard to master. Definitely has difficulty spikes, but allows the player to learn how to recover too, and that a loss isn't the end of everything. The story is good, I just wish there was more of it, with little bits of flavour in the other modes of the game. Clans are excellent, though some are definitely better than others. Music is decent, but lacks memorable tracks for me, and I give it a score of 8 out of 10, could do with a bit extra in multiple aspects.